Hey guys, and welcome back to Learn How to Crochet with Crystal. I'm a little late. I'm sorry. This week has been insane. But luckily enough, the project that we're doing this week isn't too big. We will be working on a dishcloth. So for a dishcloth and a lot of home decor projects like hot pot holders that you put on your table so it doesn't burn the surfaces, washcloths, clothing, even clothing, or some clothing, I should say, depending on what it is done in cotton yarn. So if we look here, it's still a size 4, like the worsted weight, so the thickness is pretty close to the same. If you feel it, it does have a little bit of a different texture. And where does it say here? So it says right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. So 100% USA cotton, made in Canada. Okay, so this is typically what we make for a lot of the home decor stuff. So for a dishcloth, and Valentine's Day is coming up, and I just kind of had this one on hand, so I kind of lucked out with this one because I was trying to figure out what color to do this in. And so this variegated one will be really nice because it'll just kind of work into the colors. You don't have to do the variegated. You can use white, you can use black. I had brown on hand, but I'm not really a brown lover. That's just me. And then I kind of had like a gold color, and I had almost like a wine color, but both of those are running pretty low. And I was like, well, oh, and I have black, but I'm happy I found this. Anyways, I'm super excited to use this guy. I didn't roll it yet, which I know in my last video I told you like, oh, you should roll it up first in case there's any knots. That's usually, like, it can happen with these, but it's usually with like the big bulk, like the huge things of yarn that you get, like really big. And sometimes you'll run into a case where there's like a knot or it's tangled up somewhere inside, and then you're kind of messed up because you're like, oh no, now I gotta cut my yarn and reattach it. Not like it's a huge deal. It just doesn't make some projects look as nice as they possibly could be. So let's go through what we kind of learned so far. So today we will be learning a double crochet, okay? A double crochet. So I'm just going to start with my little starting chain here, okay? Which we've done that a few times. And if you're just joining us, like, this is our 5th week already. Oh my word. So this is our 5th week, but I do go through different stages, and I'm trying to teach like and crochet with you in a manner where you will have some understanding behind the stitches. Because for me, I just followed patterns and I was just doing it. But then, like, I didn't know, like, what did what and how certain things actually worked until I started doing it more and more. So I just followed the patterns, which is completely fine. But for you guys, like, I kind of want you to learn a little bit more of why you're doing it and what different things do, so that you can become like a really good crocheter if that's what you want to do, right? Instead of like finding these things out later on after years and years of crocheting. It's like, oh yeah, but this way, like, maybe you can create your own patterns, right? And I'm like, who knows? But you know, I'm here to help as much as I can. I do not know everything yet. Like, I honestly, I don't, but whatever I do know, I'm willing to share with you, right? So that, yeah, you can take it wherever you want to go with it or what have you. So I'm just going to do a quick, like, chain, I don't know, 10 here, just to show you something. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so here is where we are. We've done a slip stitch, right? So I'm going to go onto here. So let's go over what we've learned so far. So we've done a slip stitch. Okay, we've done that. We haven't done a whole pattern in that. I haven't even came across a pattern that just has a slip stitch to it as of yet. But you do use that a lot when you're doing color changes, and which we have done in our first project. And that's where we utilize this slip stitch the most. Okay, and then we learned how to do a single crochet where we yarn over, we pull through, we yarn over, we pull through 1 and then 2, kind of like that 2-step I was talking about, right? So that's the second one that actually the first one that we learned, the slip. Blah! Sorry guys, you're gonna get that a lot with me. I get tongue-tied like so much. Anyways, we've done the slip stitch, but we didn't do a project. So this was actually the first actual stitch that we have done within a project. Okay, and then the last project, we learned how to use the half double crochet. Okay, so this one is yarn over, you pull through, and then you yarn through all 3 on your hook. And that's kind of like that slide I was talking about. Like in reference to dancing. Because like I love dancing and watching dancing and everything. That's just my thing. But I figured, well, maybe this is a way to kind of remember some of the stitches. And so yeah, I just kind of reference them. Okay, now, so we have our single, our slip stitch, our single, our half double. Now we're learning double crochet. So double crochet is another one that is used fairly often. As I've mentioned before, the single crochet is the most learned. So I yarned over, sorry, let me go back. I yarned over, I insert my hook, I yarn over again and pull up a loop here. Okay, and this one, we're going to pull through those first two loops on your hook. If I can get it in there. There we go. And then the last 2. Like that. So 2, 2. So this one, I don't even know. I was trying to think of a reference, like when it comes to, this is kind of cool because I'm in the pink and you can kind of see my stitches. So that's nice. But, anyways, I was trying to think of a reference for this one, like with dance or whatever. And the only thing I could kind of think of is the polka. I don't know if you know the polka, but it's like 2 steps on 1 foot and then you like leap. Like a big jump, and then you do like another 2 steps, but I couldn't think of one that just does like 2 and 2. I don't know if you know of one, maybe comment below. But I was just trying to think. So as you can tell here, aside from our slip stitch here, as you can tell here, we're starting to go up. Do you see that? So, oh my goodness, sorry, I'm not focused. There we go. So we have our single crochet, half double crochet, double crochet. Now, I'm going to show you this one just right now. This stitch is not used very often at all. I've never seen it used throughout an entire pattern. Not to say that it's not out there, I just have never seen it. And it's basically just used to build height. Okay, so once I go through, I will show you. So I'm going to yarn over twice. And this one is called a treble crochet, aka I just call it a triple because it's the same as a double, but you have like 3 instead of 2. So you're using the same thing. And I figured I would just sneak this in and show you right now because you don't use it all the time. So I yarned over, I pulled up a loop, And then I pull through 2, just like I do with the double crochet. Pull through 2. Okay, you have 3 more. You yarn over, you pull through 2. Sorry. Get in there. I keep getting caught. There we go. And then a 3rd time, you yarn over and you pull through 2. Okay. So I just kind of want to show you like where this is going. Okay. So I'm trying to go through the different stitches in height. Okay. So, and that's why I'm showing you this, so that like this stitch, like knowing these stitches work well with like, if you're trying to do like a flower petal, right? If you're trying to do like a flower petal, you want to kind of get that height. Sometimes you will use this if you're trying to make like a heart, or anything where you need like that curve, or like a point like this at the top, which usually involves like a picket stitch, which we will get into that. But I just kind of wanted to show you like what we're learning so far. So I'm just going to work back down the other side so that maybe you can kind of see a little better. So I'm just going to do a double. Then I'm going to do a half double. Pull through all 3. Oops. And then I'm going to do a single. So this isn't what we're working on today. Like I said, I just wanted to show you kind of, and then a slip. I just kind of want to show you where my mind is at with these tutorials. So looking at that, you see? So it's like small, then it gets bigger, 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 then big, big, and then small again. So basically, yeah, this stitch is used to create height, the triple crochet there, and you usually work it up like this in order to do that. So you can keep that in mind for any other projects maybe ahead that, you know, later on, and you're like, oh, how can I build some height on this, and how would I do that? I had another idea earlier and I can't remember what it was now. I had the flower petal, and I'm trying to think what the other one was, and the heart, and there was another one, but now it's not coming to me. I'm sorry, my dog's like, one of them is like super playful and vocal tonight, so you're probably going to hear them maybe in the background. I'm not sure, but yeah, she's pretty vocal. All right, so let's carry on with our double crochet. So to start, as you know, we wrap around our finger, make that little cross. I'm just going to pull it off my finger, and then this top one that I have crossed over top, I am just going to pull through here, and I'm going to tug on this little tail. So if you're just joining us, like, feel free to go through the other videos as well, or jump in right here and then go back to those ones, like, no biggie. I just kind of go over different stitches, like using different stitches and creating like small projects that, you know, you can feel great about. So for this dishcloth, oh, sorry, I'm just going to take my hook out of this loop for a second. So I am using, it's not focusing, focus. Oh my goodness. Okay, please. What is happening? No, doesn't want to focus. Anyways, I am using, maybe if I go out more, zoom out more. We almost kind of got it. Anyways, I'm using a 3.25. Oh, there. Maybe you can kind of see it there. Let's see. Getting better. There we go. I'm using a D3, D/3, 3.25 millimeter hook. Again, depending on if you are a tighter tension or looser tension crocheter, this can change, right? But again, we're not using a gouge. Like sometimes in the patterns, they will have like a gouge where it's like, okay, crochet up to here, and like in order to make it exactly like what they are doing. And then sometimes you have to unravel it if it's a little bit bigger or smaller in order to do that exact thing. Well, for the purpose of just learning the stitches, we're not really doing that. So honestly, I'm just going to say work up into like, we're just doing a square dishcloth. Like you can make it as big as you want. Like if you want a bigger one, great, right? If you want one that's like smaller, you know, then great too. Oh, another reason why I use cotton for a lot of the home ones is, I forgot to mention this earlier, I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping all over tonight, is because they are heat resistant. They're more heat resistant than the worsted weight, like the polyester or what have you. And for one, and so in which case these can actually be used as well as like a small pot holder if you wanted to, right? Or even like a coaster if you wanted to. I guess it depends on how big you make it or what you want to use it for, right? And also the cotton is a lot easier to wash, like in the washing machine or what have you, than worsted weight. Because then you don't really have to worry about it too much. It's cotton, just like a lot of your other garments or like t-shirts or whatever would be. Okay. So for this one, I'm just going to chain away and I'm going to see kind of where I end up. And let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so I am at 42. And for me, that seems like a pretty good size, I think, for a dishcloth. So like if my hand's here, in comparison, I think that's pretty good. 42. Okay, and then I'm just going to move you back in closer here a bit. So 42 chained, and then we always need our working chain. So because we're doing double crochet and it's going to be a little bit higher than our single crochets, we are going to chain 2 at the end here. So actually, I think I'm going to add one more. I think I'm going to do 43 here. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Ignore me. 42 is good. So I'm going to chain 2 to bring, which won't count as a double crochet, but this will be our working chain, just like how we've done before with the single crochet at the end of every row. This is going to be my working chain because I need it a little bit higher because of the double crochet. So you don't want like your rows to end up being kind of like all wonky. So again, though, we yarn over, and instead of chaining in the second chain from the hook, sorry, can you see that? There we go. Instead of chaining in the second chain from the hook, like including our 1 there, we are going to, like, this is 1 and that's 2. Okay, so we're going to go into this one here where the white is starting. Well, it won't be white for you. So 1, 2 are the 2 that we just did. We are going to go into this third one here. Okay, yarn over, you pull up a loop, and then, oh, that one was a little tight. Hopefully I don't run into issues. Come back here. And then We pull through 2. Hopefully I make it, because I did that stitch a little tight. It's kind of hard in my camera sometimes. So we pull through 2, and then we go through the last 2. Oof, that was a doozy. Okay, and then we're going to do this all the way down. So we go through, yarn over, and we go through. Hopefully I don't make this one as tight. Pull up a loop, and we go through 2. And then we go through the other 2, like so. Yarn over, insert our hook, we pull up a loop, yarn over, and we pull through 2. Oh, come on. Hey. See, I don't work with cotton too often. I usually do worsted weight, and it's always kind of hard, like when you're first starting any project, to tell you the honest truth, just to get on that roll and working off the chain. So if you're struggling a little bit, like, don't even worry about it. So yarn over, insert your hook, pull, yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Okay, we pull through 2 loops on the hook and the last 2 on the hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over again, pull up a loop, and we go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Lots of yarn overs in this one. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop. Oh, sorry, am I blurring out? Yarn over, pull through 2 loops on your hook. Then that leaves you with 2. You yarn over, and you pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. Just like that. Okay, yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops there, yarn over, and pull through the last 2 loops. So that's what it looks like. You see how it's a little bit taller than the other stitches we have done? Like when you did the half double crochet, you probably didn't notice like much of a difference in height, but then this one is like, yeah, it's almost like double the height, right? As a single crochet is. So let's keep going. Yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. Oh, I think I'm caught. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2, yarn over, insert. So basically with this one, every time, like before you do something, you're kind of yarning over. So I yarned over, I inserted, I yarn over, I pull up a loop, and then I yarn over, I pull through 2 loops on my hook, and I yarn over again, and I pull through the last 2, which would bring me back down to my original loop. Okay, so like I said, lots of yarning over. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through 2. And this is probably going to curl as we work, but as our other projects, they will kind of simmer out once that we kind of get more rows on here. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up 2 loops, or go through 2 loops, sorry. Yarn over and go through the last 2. Yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull up, yarn over the first 2 loops we go through. Oh, stuck. There we go. Yarn over, go through the last 2. So I'm going to do this all the way through, and I will see you guys at the end. Okay, so I'm nearing the end here. It's looking pretty good. I don't know what is happening with my camera tonight, though. It seems like it's a little bit blurrier than usual, so I don't know if I need to zoom in more or maybe. I don't ever remember it being up that close, though. Anyway, sorry guys if I'm kind of blurring out a bit tonight. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so one thing I did notice is that in opposed to the worsted weight, there's almost like more threads that can kind of get, with the cotton, that kind of get caught up sometimes when you're stitching. You know what? If you're having issues with that, you're not the only one, right? Like I'm getting caught sometimes too, or where I have to pull out a stitch and redo it, or make sure that all of them are on there, or sneak it through if that's kind of missing one or what have you. Excuse me. So don't get discouraged. It's not you. It's just part of the learning process and kind of just how the cotton works. The more you work with it, the better you'll get at working with it. That is one thing I've noticed with cotton. Like, I wasn't really sure when I first kind of started doing it. And then, yeah, like if you're working through a pattern, like you'll notice throughout this even probably that the more you're kind of working through your pattern, you'll get the hang of it, right? Like as you're going through, you'll get faster, you'll get the hang of it. And not to mention, like I said, right now we are just working off the chain, which is always kind of a little bit difficult than opposed to working through the actual stitches themselves. But anyway, so yarn over, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through two, and pull through two. Another thing I also noticed that kind of helps me, though, as I've been doing these ones, is that if I yarn over, I insert my hook, and I yarn over, pull up a loop. One thing I've kind of noticed that is when I'm going through these ones, if I yarn over, and if I kind of try to like pull upwards, and opposed to pulling this way, it tends to kind of go a little smoother. I don't know if that might help. I hope you guys seen that. So I'll do that one more time. So I yarn over, I insert my hook, yarn over. It's so hard to do this through the camera sometimes. Pull up a loop, yarn over, and then I'm kind of pulling like, watch, now it's not going to do it, upwards a bit like this, and opposed to pulling to the side. I'm finding that I'm kind of making it through all loops that way. Or you can do a 1 and 2, right? Like go through one loop, go through the second loop, like yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop. But as long as you know you're going through both of these, you can go through like 1 loop, 2 loops, right? And then yarn over and go through one at a time. One, oh, see, but don't yarn over again. I almost yarned over again. Don't do that. So that's what it looks like so far. And then I have only like one more here. Yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. Okay, so now that we're at the end, voila. Okay, now that we're at the end, I just wanted to remind you, when you get to this end here, don't forget you are going to want to chain 2 instead of chain 1 for a working chain. We are chaining 2, just like so. And then of course we're going to turn our work, and we're going to start working in this one right here. So we yarn over, you see where I'm going here? This is chain 1, chain 2. So we're going into this one right here. So I yarn over, And I'm going right in there. Hopefully you guys can see that. And if at all possible, you want to try and go through these two on your hook. Whatever you do, keep it consistent. But typically, when you're working into double crochets like this, you want to try and have this V on the top of your hook. Okay, so the front and back loop both. Okay, now we yarn over, we pull through, yarn over, we pull through two, yarn over, we pull through two. Again, we yarn over, we insert our hook, trying to go through both of these. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, we're going to pull through two, yarn over, pull through two. Okay, let's keep going. Yarn over, and you'll notice like you will get faster with this, right? Like if you're starting off slow, hey, you know what? That's fine. Slow and steady wins the race. You are just learning, right? Just enjoy it, relax, take your time with it. Like crocheting, I find, is like for women, I guess, if you want to do kind of a comparison, it'd probably be like fishing for men, right? So they like their sports, they like this and that, but hey, you know what? Like they like their fishing, they like going out, just relaxing, having their beer and, you know, sitting there waiting till they kind of get a bite, or even like golf. Golf is also kind of a laid back sport. And that's kind of how crocheting is. You just like go get your like drink of choice, whether it be tea, a glass of wine, right? I like to listen to music, sit on my couch. I like to listen to music. Sometimes I like to watch a show, depending on how hard the stitch is, making sure that I'm not going to mess it up, or I don't need to count too much with it. Like if I'm working on something like this, for instance, it's just kind of back and forth, but not all patterns are kind of like this. Like some are pretty and can get pretty intense where you don't really need that distraction. And I find like that's where instead of watching a movie or a TV show, the music comes in, right? For me, anyway. I can't speak for everybody. Okay. So we're just going to keep doing this all the way to the end. So just a reminder, when you get to the end, do not forget to chain two. So when we get to the end, here is our two chain two spaces. 1, 2, okay? So this is where we're going to go. Here is our last one, and then we're going to chain two, and it's going to kind of come out like these ones did. So we're going to end, like usually it looks like this, where there's this one loop over like that. Like those are our two chain two spaces. 1, 2. Right here. So we're going to go on to this last one. Hopefully you guys can see that. And then we're going to go chain two, which will kind of bring it up like this one kind of bubbled out a bit, right? Here is our last stitch. It kind of bubbled out. So that's what's going to happen here. We're going to go to here and we're going to bubble out a bit. And I will meet you guys. Well, I guess just work it up, right? Because like we're not using a gouge. I will let you know how many I actually did, which I think I'm going to do 42, just so it is a square. Another thing I wanted to mention is if you aren't sure about which one to go through here at the end, well, just do what we have been doing, right? Let me just pull this up a bit. Just do what we have been doing and count our little V's here, right? Like here's that little loop that I'm talking about that's kind of over here. You see? That one that kind of crosses over them. We have that over here too. So that's a chain. This is our first stitch here, right? So if you're ever unsure, just count these little V's on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we count the one that's over our loop, right? That will be 9. Because typically this would be in there and it would have been counted still. right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. So I'm just about on my 10th one here. And yeah. So if you ever question yourself or you're not sure, because the thing is if you start working in the chains, or if you finish it too soon, like instead you finish it here instead of here, the sides of your dishcloth are gonna, like, they're gonna either start going in or start going out, and your stitches aren't going to be the right number. If you want to count every stitch at the end, you know what? Feel free to do that. I did that all the time when I first started crocheting. I would count and count and count and count because I did have issues of my projects going in like this or out like this. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What is going on here? And I just couldn't get the concept of like where to stop, right? And I guess I got kind of lazy and didn't want to count my stitches every row, but that was the consequence, right? And you kind of learn as you go. But hey, how are we supposed to learn if we don't make mistakes, guys? Right? So yeah, we're just going to continue doing this. And I'm going to go and sit down somewhere a little bit more comfortable because where I'm sitting right now to do this isn't very comfortable. And my living room doesn't have very good lighting. And I will see you back here in a few. Okay, guys, sorry about that. My back's been a little bit sore, so I had to pause and opposed to fast forward my video. Anyway, so here we go. I am all finished now. So mine actually ended up being more of a rectangular shape, which is fine. I'm happy with that because it's for me. If you do want it more of like a square shape, I did 42 across, right? And I made it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows. So if you did want to try and do more of a square shape, and I forgot to, I know earlier I said 42 by 42, but because these are double crochets, a double crochet would pretty much be like double a single, right? So if I went 42 this way, if I had enough of my yarn, then I probably would have went 21 this way. But it would have made for like a huge dishcloth. So what I recommend is actually doing maybe, to be on the safe side, I would do 35. So if I look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24... 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Okay, so that's still, like, if you look from, well, let me zoom out. So if you look from the beginning, and I put my hand here, that's still pretty big. And if I already have 16 rows, then you just need one more. And then you should have some left over, and that's still a good size washcloth. Now, if you like the rectangular like I did, then copy what I have done. Because the thing is I don't mind this as well because of the fact that, like, I don't know about you, but like when you wring out your dishcloth and you fold it in half and hang it over your faucet, you have a little bit more room that way as well, right? Whereas if you go down like, let's see, 7, give or take, would be about here. I mean, it's still gonna hang nice, right? But this just gives you the little bit of extra room of hang. I also want to mention that these handmade crochet dishcloths are amazing. in opposed to the store-bought ones. The reason why is because you do have like this texture, which is going to help when you're washing your dishes. It's going to kind of pick up pieces more better than just like a cloth, like sewing around the edges kind of thing. There's no texture to it. But these actually kind of work as like a scrubbing and washcloth both. So they are actually really amazing for washing your dishes with. So I'm just finishing up here. I only have a couple more stitches to do. And I'm going to put notes at the beginning of this tutorial if you do want to do the square. Or you could get more. Like if you wanted a really big washcloth, right? You could get more. Like this one, let's see here. This one is 68 yards. So if you have one bigger than that, you could probably do a bigger one, right? This is all trial and error for me too, because like the tutorial says, learn how to crochet with Crystal. Well, I'm learning how to create my own patterns while you guys are learning how to crochet all at the same time. So 68 yards. So if your ball is bigger than this, like this one is definitely bigger, right? So I probably could have pulled that off, right? Doing 42 and 42. This one I think is like, I think it's one of the smallest ones you can get, honestly, in the cotton, 100% cotton. So just keep that in mind. And yes, they're all a number 4 as well for thickness, just like our worsted weight yarn. So, and then I'm on my last one here. So I'm going to try and go under both those V's. There we go. All right, and then as usual, to finish off, I'm just going to go into like this. Why is this one here? Oh, that's from before? I don't know. I'm just going to go into like this last chain here. And I'm going to do a slip stitch. Okay, let me zoom in here a bit. There we go. All right, so for a slip stitch again, I'm just going to pull through and pull through this one on my hook and pull all the way through, and then you create like a knot there. And then just for extra measure, I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it in there. Make an extra knot just so it doesn't come undone. And then, oh, I forgot my sewing needle. Give me 1 second. Just gonna sew in the ends here. Okay. And as usual, we just kind of weave it in between the stitches here, anywhere we possibly can. Hopefully it stays all nice and snug for us. Just find any kind of loops in between stitches that you possibly can. Let's see if I can get in here. Well, there's a little one. Going through here. Okay. And then I'm just going to kind of go the other way with it. Like so. And then what I'm going to do, get the tail out of there, is I'm going to go up inside of this. like so. And that's going to kind of create like a knot there. See? Once we cut it, it will be all good. I'm just gonna actually sew a little bit more in of this tail to kind of hide it. Oops, to kind of hide it a little better. So that's there for just kind of extra security. And then I'm gonna go back up this way again. Like so. And maybe through this one as well. You know, just do whatever you do, like, so long as you feel like, oh, that looks like it's secure, it's fastened, it's not going to come undone. Voila. And then again, we'll just kind of pull it a bit. All right. So now even if it unwinds, if it goes back to this knot, you know, the string might hang out and you snip it and then, but the knot should still be there kind of thing. And then even if it's cut short, it's still winded into these ones from the first time around. Okay. And then this side, I'm just going to weave this guy in. And as I said, I don't work with cotton like a whole lot, so it's kind of new to me as well in some circumstances. Like I have done a few projects, but I've worked with the blanket yarn and worsted weight quite a bit more than I have cotton. So they're all different, and you know, it's new to you guys too, because we're using cotton yarn, which we've been using worsted weight up until now, right? And then we're using a smaller hook, right? And you're also learning a new stitch. So all around, everything's new for you guys, right? With this one. All right, so again, I'm gonna kind of go in here. I'm going to go around and in through my loop and just kind of pull a little knot like so. And tighten it up there. And then now I can just kind of sew back through. It's a little far. Let's go in through this one, maybe through that, this. And I'm just going to kind of work my way back. Even there is fine. I'm happy with that. Give a little snip. Okay. So there you are. We have our dishcloth. Yay. I love the colors of this. I'm so happy I went up and looked in my stash and found this because it's like Valentine's Day. And yeah, so don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and we will see you guys hopefully on Monday for our new project. Thank you. Bye.